The embargo on Jubilee is still in effect. Clips are exempt from the embargo. Clips are exempt from the embargo, but multiple clips at a time are obviously part of that embargo. However, Patrick Bet-David is stupid as fuck, so it's not like he's going to be, you know, devastatingly effective at what he does. These are morons that follow Patrick Bet-David. Again and again, conservatives, Shapiro, Peterson, PBD, go on Jubilee and are confronted with relatively well-read, well-informed, smart, young progressives who engage in a polite, good faith argument. Leftists like me go on and get a bunch of angry neo-Nazis. Both sides. I mean, yes, like you just described the same thing. Leftists go on and get a bunch of angry neo-Nazis. Like you described the same thing. Like, okay, we got some leftists and like some, you know, maybe progressive libs and a Nazi. Like Patrick Bet-David is a fascist. Like he's a fan of the Shah. I somehow luckily don't recognize the name. Well, you might recognize the face and the voice. Let's take a look.
When you said capitalism is the best...
Oh yeah, it was Patrick Bet-David versus 20 anti-capitalists.
...form of economic organization the world has ever seen, it made me think of a very particular picture from history. So, I don't know if you know this, it's a little history lesson. In 1900, King Leopold II of Belgium determined that the entire land of the Democratic Republic of the Congo was his personal property. And within 10 years, capitalists came out, they exploited all the land, extracted trillions...
Oh wait, Mason was on here? Oh, we gotta see Mason's clip if he was on here.
...of dollars of resources. 15 million Congolese died. For reference, the Holocaust killed 6 million people. And the most famous picture from that time in history is a rubber worker staring at the disembodied hands of his 8-year-old daughter because he didn't hit his rubber quota. I'm willing to bet that man worked harder to hit that rubber quota than anything you've ever worked for in your entire life. And I think when you say this is the best system that's ever been created, to me, that's the result. That's what happens when there's no rules.
It's devastating when you hear stories like that. I don't disagree with you. They had it hard. They worked very hard, and they had risk on the line. Many times it was their lives that was on the line. And you see that in many different places when you go back and study history. That's why today in America, that can't happen.
Okay, let's pretend for a moment that we're not talking about America, which currently has slaves. Israel is doing genocide. Israel is a hyper-capitalist country. It's a fascist nation, right? Just like America. It has slaves. 100% of foreign Thai workers in Israel have reported sexual assault. Gaza has the highest population of child amputees. Like, this is just 2 examples. El Salvador, capitalist country, has a death camp, CCOT. I feel like needing to go on, you know, it's kind of crazy. Like, Sri Lanka, Ilam, right? Genocide. These are all capitalist countries. Every country is capitalist. I don't understand why that can't happen in the US. Also, migrant children account for 20% of agricultural fatalities in this country. 20% of fatalities in the agricultural industry in this country, where like workers die like on the job from heat exhaustion, right? From like workplace conditions, or from like agricultural like accidents, right? Are migrant children. If you ever met someone who works in like an industrial corridor, they are permanently injured. They have debilitating injuries from working in the unsafe conditions that we put upon them. Just because they have, you know, Ford F-150 and drink Bud Light does not mean that they are not injured. His face says it all. Oh yeah.
In America, you have a choice to do what you want to do with your life. When we go back and look at those stories, we can go to see what communism did. How many lives were killed because of communism control? You don't need to go through that number. You hear the numbers between 60 to 100 million.
He's like, we don't have to go through the numbers, but it's between 60 and 100 million. Hey man, that is a jump of 40 million. First of all, that's a big jump. Secondly, lightly referencing the Black Book of Communism, not exactly the argument you think it is. And also, let's pretend it's the maximum. Let's pretend it's the highest like range in that, 100 million. It's one of my favorite things that people bring up whenever they're using anti-communist talking points. 100 million dead, vuvuzela, no phone, no toothbrush. Okay, Let's pretend that's true. Communist projects in various nations, 100 million people dead in the 1900s. Every year in the global capitalist economy, between 10 and 12 million people die from starvation, meaning that just in the last 10 years, since 2015, more than 100 million people have died just from starvation, not from the other, effects that, capitalism brings about. Just from starvation. Someone clipped out the segment of Patrick Bet-Davis's Jubilee episode with Mason, friend of the show. Again, rules for Jubilee, embargo, only exception is really funny clips or when a friend of the show was on it. Mason!
I'm Valuetainment. I'm a big fan of the channel.
Are you really?
Yeah, I do watch it quite regularly.
Very cool.
I do not agree with your claim. I don't think that incentives are only born out of capitalism.
Okay.
Most capitalist defenders say that incentive is
The fuck the profit motive have to do with me, being hungry? I am hungry. I need food in order to live. I don't think about that in terms of profit.
because of scarcity, and people's ability to get what is necessary pushes them to work harder. I disagree with that. I'd say that some of our hardest workers are single moms.
Did he grow his beard out to disguise himself? This guy is bad politics. Excuse me? Say Cap right now. Say Cap, he's a fan of Hank Pecker. I think I remember him on other Jubes saying cringe stuff. I need you to show me exactly what you're talking about with a clip in your next chat. Otherwise, I'm gonna have Peanut spill your juice.
Working 3 to 4 jobs, and the resources that they're able to acquire compared to those that utilize their workers in order to build profit for their own companies is not equivocal.
So how would you do it? How would you change it?
Yeah, so I think that humans inherently want to be meaningful. They want to contribute to their communities. They want to contribute to society. When you look at depression rates, oftentimes it's people.
I was watching Mason stream last night, and he said he sucked up to him initially, so PBD would pick him later for the longer segment, and then Mason could skewer him. Professional. He's so good. Our first introduction to Mason was the, who is and isn't a libertarian. He's so good at this. He can fly under the radar so easily.
Who aren't able to do anything besides laying in their bed and basically barely taking care of themselves. So I think that it's just a human intrinsic value to want to bring value to their community or grander society.
Okay,
so I don't think that it has to be through scarcity alone that scares people into working, if that makes sense.
I worked for scarcity. I think there's levels to it. You have the survival.
Hell yeah, you do. You certainly do work for scarcity.
Folks who work for survival to pay their bills. Some work for status, some work for freedom, and some work for legacy. The folks that work 3 or 5 jobs, to pay their bills and do what they're doing, if the incentive wasn't there, they wouldn't work 3 to 5 jobs. Some of the guys that build a bigger business that solve a lot of problems.
The incentive there is either I die or I work. That's not really a system that rewards merit. That's a system that pushes people into insecure positions.
Not necessarily. In many cases, we put ourselves in situations as well. But when we're talking incentive,
are you saying that it's an individual failure for these single mothers that are working 3 to 4 jobs?
For some of them, it is.
Interesting.
For some
Interactions like this make me wish the proposal of what Jubilee was real. It's moments like that frustrate me. Not the most about Jubilee, but it's one of the key frustrations, because you should hear that and as a well-adjusted person go, well, this guy is a fucking monster. This used car salesman looking ass dude is clearly a monster. He looks like he just got back from gentrifying a historically black neighborhood.
I'm glad you bite that bullet, because most people are not going to say that it's a moral failure of people that are born into poverty that continue to live out cyclical poverty.
For somebody like me, I came from the single mother system. My mother was a single mother. We had, my parents got a divorce twice. They married each other. They divorced. They remarried each other, divorced again. I came up. We didn't have a lot of.
Listen, as a child of multiple divorce, I can laugh at that, okay? That's some fucked up shit, man. Oh, hey, I know this guy. Hey, Mason. What's up? What's up? You've been accused by a chatter of being cringe.
Choices. I joined the Army. I got at that system. Kind of wanted to see what I was going to do for myself. Do I stay in the Army? Do I get out of the Army? I started working in sales. And then the incentive of working harder, eventually I built a good life for myself.
Again, you're totally dismissing the hard work that a lot of these people are.
He's also not admitting to the poverty draft. I don't know how well off his parents were, but if he's saying, oh yeah, I struggled in my early years, my parents married, divorced, married again, divorced again, and then I joined the army. What you're describing there, if your parents were not well off, is the poverty draft. You didn't do that for patriotism.
Putting into for just basic survival. I'd say that mechanics and plumbers and most people working blue collar jobs that are probably watching this video are working tirelessly day after day.
I don't disagree.
They still feel insecure positions to where they don't even know if they're going to be able to afford rent in the next 6 months.
So let me ask you.
If most Americans have a $400 to $500 emergency, they can't even afford that with the basic savings that they have. So this is not something that we should celebrate as promises of a system that gives you more if you work harder. We should say that this is something that rewards few, and I'm glad that you're an outlier that's been able to build a lot of success for yourself. I know that you're a multimillionaire. That's fantastic that you have those resources.
But the
thing is that cannot
ask you this
happen
question,
for everybody in society. It's possible for each individual to do it, but not everybody can be a millionaire. That's guaranteed.
Steamrolled him, dude. He's trying to redirect into other things right now, and you just, chef's kiss.
I don't think not everybody can be a billionaire or a millionaire, but I do think people can find ways to use their time to effectively increase their market value. And I don't think many people do that. When I talk to people and they tell me, I've watched this show, I've watched every one of these shows, I've watched every one of these Netflix shows, you can use that time to increase your market value.
Without those people listening to like entertainment, valuetainment, you wouldn't have a job. You're a podcaster. You're popcorn for dumbasses.
That kind of, focus on what's going on with the stories and shows that are out there.
Let's move away from Netflix and TV shows and talk specifically about, do you think that capitalism is a system of merit that rewards people that are of higher merit?
I do.
Okay, so how would you say that this is a meritocracy when we have some people that are born into excessive wealth and some people that are working minimum?
Wait. What does the little thing say? Oh, there's just talking about the flag.
Would you say that this is a meritocracy when we have some people that are born into excessive wealth and some people that are working minimum wage jobs to provide for 3 or 4 kids?
He's using seminar talking points? Yes, because he is a pyramid scheme guy. Like, that's how he cut his teeth. That's where he made his wealth. He only knows how to justify exploitation. That's what he does on his podcast. It's like, that is what he is. He is a cheerleader for capitalism.
How would you say that that's a meritocratic society?
Those are two different things.
They are two different things, very unequal things.
Well, no, not necessarily. The parents get credit for making responsible decisions so they can take care of their kids. The parents
so it's not
get
a
credit.
Meritocracy, though. We're building dynasties of wealth.
Not necessarily. I didn't come from dynasties of wealth.
I know,
came from
you're
a
an outlier.
99 cents.
I get that. I get that individual. We're talking about systems. Capitalism is a system. It's not an individual
testimony. But it's a
testimony.
system that you get to use in your advantage. It's a system that's produced the best results than any other economical system. There's not an economical system that's produced better results than this based on the incentive.
History is a march of progress, right? So there are going to be advancements that we make, or there's going to be solutions that we make to previous ailments. I'm not saying that capitalism hasn't brought in better things than systems like feudalism or monarchy, but that does not mean that we're at the end of history. Do you think that capitalism is the final solution, and this is what we're going to last
I think capitalism
as we go
is the
into
best
future?
economical system because it gives an incentive for you to decide how big of a life you want to build. And by the way, the best way to judge it, let me just say this to you, the best way to judge it is in a very simple way. Take all the countries around the world. There's many different economical...
People raising the flags right now are selfish. People raising their flags are incredibly selfish. Mason is fucking roasting this man. And they're like, oh, I could do it better. Let my fucking man cook, okay? You've seen him on Jubilee episodes. You know what he's capable of, okay? And you're trying to hold him back.
Systems. What has the longest line of people wanting to get in there? It's America. Why is that?
Bro, what? It's not even America. Like, it's not. That's straight up not what it is. It's proximity. It is like familial connections. It's lower barrier to entry job opportunities, and by lower barrier to entry, I mean quicker to be exploited. Notice how all of the countries that the most impoverished and desperate and overexploited parts of the migrant population come from are usually countries that we fucked up.